Have you ever felt like no matter how hard you try, some people just don't get you? Maybe you have a dream, a vision, or even a simple way of living your life, and yet, there are always those voices that question you. Why are you doing this? Why don't you do it the normal way? Why can't you be like everyone else? It's exhausting, isn't it? But here's the truth, not everyone will understand you, and that's perfectly okay. In fact, it's a sign that you are stepping out of the crowd and walking your unique path. Think about a child learning to ride a bicycle for the first time. Every parent, every neighbor, every stranger around will have an opinion. Be careful, you'll fall. Why don't you use the training wheels? But the child knows one thing: the only way to learn, the only way to grow, is to pedal, wobble, fall, and try again. Some will cheer, some will criticize, and some will shake their heads. The point is, not everyone will understand the courage it takes to try. And just like that child, in life, you need to embrace the fact that not everyone will understand your journey. Look at the great inventors, thinkers, and leaders of the world. Nikola Tesla, for instance, was mocked by many during his time. People thought he was crazy, impractical, even dangerous. But did Tesla stop inventing because the world didn't understand him? Absolutely not. He continued his work, driven by a vision that only he could see. Similarly, J.K. Rowling was rejected by 12 publishers before Harry Potter finally made it. Imagine if she had stopped because others didn't understand her story. Many of us would never have experienced the magic of Hogwarts. These examples teach us that misunderstanding isn't a barrier. It's a sign that you are doing something extraordinary. In our daily lives, the principle is the same. Perhaps you are the only person in your office who wants to start a morning meditation practice. Colleagues might tease you, calling you weird or too spiritual. But you know that taking 15 minutes each morning to center yourself improves your focus, reduces stress, and transforms your day. You don't need everyone to understand this. You only need to understand the value of your own choices. The same goes for your health decisions, your career shifts, your creative passions. Sometimes the people around you will never understand why you do what you do. And that's perfectly fine, because their lack of understanding doesn't diminish the worth of your actions. Relationships are another place where this truth becomes very real. You might choose to love, forgive, or help someone in a way that confuses your friends or family. They might ask, "Why are you putting yourself through this?" Or, "Why don't you protect yourself?" But your heart knows its own logic. The love, compassion, and kindness you extend are not always meant to be understood. They are meant to be lived. Sometimes, being misunderstood is simply the price of authenticity, and authenticity is priceless. Even in small moments, life reminds us of this truth. You might enjoy reading poetry while everyone else is obsessed with social media trends. You might prefer walking in solitude while your friends gather in loud parties. Or you might choose a career that's unconventional, risky, or misunderstood by society. In all these moments, people may judge, criticize, or simply shake their heads. But the beauty lies in knowing that you don't need validation from everyone. Your inner voice, your values, and your intuition are enough. The world doesn't have to understand you to respect your existence. The key is to embrace this reality with courage and humor. When people don't understand you, it's not a reflection of your worth, it's a reflection of the lens through which they see the world. Each person filters life through their experiences, fears, and limitations. Expecting everyone to understand you is like expecting a fish to climb a tree. It's simply impossible. And the moment you accept this, a tremendous freedom emerges. You stop shrinking yourself to fit someone else's expectations. You stop dimming your light to make others comfortable. You start living unapologetically, fully, and beautifully. Let me give you one more example. Imagine a gardener planting a tree. He waters it, nourishes it, protects it from pests, and watches over it patiently. But the tree grows in its own way, sometimes twisted, sometimes reaching unexpected directions. Neighbors may wonder why the tree doesn't look perfect. They may criticize its shape. But the gardener knows growth happens in its own time, in its own way. That tree may one day provide shade, fruit, or beauty that no one imagined. In life, you are that tree. People may not understand the twists and turns of your journey, but your growth is unfolding exactly as it should. So the next time you feel misunderstood, remember this. Not everyone is meant to understand you. The world is full of opinions, expectations, and judgments, but your purpose is yours alone. Keep moving forward, keep believing, keep creating, and keep living your truth. Let the critics question, let the doubters doubt, and let the confused shake their heads. Your life is your masterpiece, and masterpieces are often misunderstood until the world catches up. The moment you embrace this, the moment you stop seeking validation from everyone around you, something magical happens. You become unstoppable. You walk with confidence, clarity, and courage. And here's the most beautiful secret. Those who truly matter, the ones whose hearts resonate with yours, will not only understand, they will celebrate the unique, authentic, and extraordinary person you are. Remember, your life is not for everyone to understand. It is for you to live and live fully. Let them not understand. Let them watch in confusion. Let them even hate if they must. But you keep walking your path, unwavering, authentic, and unstoppable. How often do we wake up in the morning asking ourselves, will people like what I do today? Will my boss appreciate this? Will my friends understand my choices? The strange thing about life is that so much of our energy, so much of our joy is tied to the approval of others. And yet, if you look closely, approval is one of the most overrated things in the world. It is like chasing a shadow. You think you are reaching it, but the moment you grab, it slips away. The truth is, living for approval is living a half life. The moment you realize this, everything changes. Think about a student in school who wants to pursue art instead of engineering. Their parents might frown, their friends might tease, and teachers might question their practicality. Art won't give you a secure future, they say, and yet the student feels alive when they paint, sketch, or create music. If the student seeks approval first, they will pick a safe path that satisfies others but starves their soul. But if they follow their passion, they may stumble, face criticism, and walk a lonely road. But every brushstroke, every melody will be theirs, authentic and fulfilling. Approval is comfortable, but authenticity is priceless. Consider the workplace. So many people spend their careers nodding to every idea, agreeing with every decision, and dressing, speaking, and acting according to unspoken rules just to be liked. They want to be the popular colleague, the boss's favorite, or the team's agreeable member, but in doing so, they lose themselves. They suppress their creativity, their ideas, their voice. Imagine if the innovators in tech, the great writers, or even the philanthropists had spent their lives seeking approval first. The world would be deprived of some of its most remarkable contributions. Approval is like a temporary badge. It can fade overnight. Purpose, on the other hand, leaves a legacy that outlives everyone's opinion. Even in friendships and relationships, the trap of seeking approval is all around us. We smile, laugh, and behave in ways that are not natural to us, hoping others will like us. We adjust our dreams, our goals, even our personalities, to fit into someone else's expectations. But life is too short to be a carbon copy of someone else's ideals. The moment you stop seeking approval, the moment you allow yourself to be seen exactly as you are, is the moment you attract people who genuinely belong in your life. These are the relationships built on respect, understanding, and love, not convenience or approval seeking. Look at social media, where the desire for approval is magnified. Every post, every picture, every thought is measured in likes, shares, and comments. We feel validated when 100 people applaud us and insecure when only 10 do. But approval is fleeting. Today's trending post is tomorrow's forgotten story. True contentment doesn't come from likes or comments. It comes from being aligned with your own values and living a life that feels meaningful to you, regardless of who notices. If you constantly chase approval, you will always feel incomplete because the world's applause is unpredictable and uncontrollable. Even in small moments, approval can hold us back. You hesitate to express your opinion in a meeting because others might disagree. You avoid starting a business because friends might call you foolish. You hide your creativity because someone might laugh. And in all of these moments, you trade your freedom for the illusion of approval. Approval is a fragile currency, one that can be revoked with a single glance, a single word. The only approval worth seeking is your own. When you respect your own choices, trust your own instincts, and honor your own path, the world can neither break you nor define you. Consider the story of a young teacher who wanted to innovate her classroom. She wanted to engage students through games, stories, and discussions, rather than sticking strictly to textbooks. Her colleagues were skeptical. The parents were doubtful. Even some students initially resisted the change, but she continued, guided by her belief in what would truly help her students. Over time, her students began to thrive, love learning, and even excel in areas they hadn't before. Approval from others had been irrelevant. What mattered was her conviction, her courage, and her dedication to doing what was right and meaningful. The approval eventually came, but it was a byproduct, not the motivation. Living for approval also limits growth. Imagine a painter who only paints what people say is beautiful, a writer who only writes what critics will praise, or an entrepreneur who only starts businesses that friends think are safe. In doing so, they play small, never experimenting, never taking risks, never reaching their full potential. Approval confines you, authenticity liberates you. The moment you choose your path, without waiting for permission or applause. You step into a world where true creativity, courage, and joy reside. So, how do we escape the trap of approval? Start with small steps. Speak your truth, even when it feels uncomfortable. Follow a passion, even when it seems impractical. Make decisions aligned with your values, even if others don't understand. Surround yourself with people who respect your choices, not people who demand your conformity. Celebrate the freedom of living on your own terms. Approval is temporary. Peace, joy, and fulfillment are forever. Remember, life is too short to live for the applause of strangers. Your purpose, your integrity, and your authenticity matter more than every approval you could ever get. When you stop seeking approval, you stop bending, shrinking, and dimming your light. You start living fully, freely, and courageously. And the world, it will either catch up or it will fade into irrelevance. The only approval that matters is the one you give yourself, and the life you live with courage, meaning, and authenticity. Have you ever noticed how the people who criticize you the most often reflect the very fears and insecurities they carry within themselves? Criticism, though uncomfortable, is like a mirror. It shows us not only what others see, but also reveals the truths we might be ignoring about ourselves. And the moment you understand this, the sting of criticism can transform into a powerful tool for growth, courage, and self-discovery. Think about a child learning to speak in front of a classroom. A teacher might correct the child harshly, saying, "No, that's wrong. Try again." At first, the child might feel embarrassed, hurt, or discouraged. But what if the child looked deeper? The teacher's critique, though blunt, is actually a guide, a reflection of how to improve, how to grow, how to express themselves more clearly. Criticism is rarely the end of the story, it is a nudge toward betterment, a reflection of where attention is needed. The challenge is learning to see the mirror without letting your ego get bruised. In daily life, criticism often comes from the people closest to us. A friend might say, "You are too sensitive," or a colleague might remark, "You talk too much in meetings." Initially, these words can sting, and we might even feel unjustly judged. But pause for a moment. Could there be a kernel of truth? Are there patterns in your behavior that others notice, but you tend to overlook? The mirror isn't there to punish you, it's there to reveal. If you choose to see criticism as a reflection rather than a rejection, you gain a powerful lens into your own life. Even in the professional world, criticism is a natural companion. A manager may give feedback that seems harsh, your presentation lacks clarity. At first, it feels like a personal attack, but if you look closely, the manager isn't criticizing you. They are pointing out a gap in your work, a chance to improve your skills. Steve Jobs was famously known for giving blunt, sometimes harsh, feedback to his team at Apple. Yet his employees thrived because they learned to see his criticism as a reflection of potential rather than a judgment of worth. Criticism, when embraced correctly, becomes the seed of excellence. In relationships, criticism can be even more personal. A partner might say, "You never listen to me," or "You're too stubborn." These words can ignite anger, defensiveness, or hurt. But imagine if, instead of reacting, you paused and reflected. Could it be true? Have there been moments when your focus wandered, when your rigidity caused tension? Instead of seeing criticism as an attack, see it as a mirror showing you where your attention and care are needed. Relationships grow not when we avoid criticism, but when we learn from the reflection it provides. The tricky part is that not all criticism is fair. Some people criticize out of jealousy, insecurity, or misunderstanding. And that's why you must filter carefully. But even in unfair criticism, there is often a lesson. When someone criticizes you harshly, it reveals more about them than about you. It shows their fears, their limitations, or their discomfort with someone boldly walking a different path. For instance, an entrepreneur might face ridicule from skeptics who say, "Your idea will never work." That critique often comes from a place of fear, not insight. And yet, even then, the criticism becomes a mirror, reflecting the courage and vision that the entrepreneur possesses. Qualities the critic may lack. Daily life provides countless opportunities to practice this perspective. A student might hear, "You're not good at math." Instead of internalizing the insult, they can ask themselves, "Where do I need to focus? What can I improve?" An athlete might hear, "You're too slow." Instead of feeling defeated, they can see it as a reflection of where hard work and training are needed. Every critique, when viewed as a mirror, becomes an opportunity to learn, improve, and rise stronger. Criticism also teaches resilience. Life will never be free of judgment. No matter what you achieve, someone somewhere will find fault. The moment you stop taking criticism personally, you stop being controlled by others' opinions. The moment you see criticism as a mirror, you start growing with every word, every observation, every challenge. It is not easy. Our egos want to protect themselves, to react, to defend. But the growth that comes from embracing criticism is unmatched. And here's the most beautiful secret. The mirror is also a gift. It shows you what others fear to confront in themselves. It shows you where your unique qualities challenge their comfort zones. If someone criticizes your confidence, your courage, or your vision, it often means that you are living boldly in ways they wish they could. Their discomfort is not your failure. It is evidence of your authenticity and your impact. Criticism becomes proof that you are stepping beyond ordinary limits, doing things that not everyone has the courage to do. So, the next time someone criticizes you, pause, breathe, look into the mirror they are holding up. Ask yourself, what truth can I learn from this? What can I improve? What does this reveal about the person speaking? Criticism will never disappear from life, but your relationship with it can change completely. Instead of seeing it as a threat, see it as a guide. Instead of shrinking from it, grow from it. Instead of fearing it, embrace it. When you master this, criticism loses its power to hurt you. Instead, it becomes a companion on your journey, a teacher whispering lessons in disguise. You learn humility without weakness, courage without arrogance, and growth without ego. And in this transformation, life becomes lighter, freer, and infinitely more meaningful. Remember, criticism is not your enemy. It is a mirror. And mirrors, when looked at with honesty and courage, always reveal the path toward your highest self. How often do we find ourselves apologizing for simply being who we are? Maybe it's apologizing for speaking your mind, for choosing a different path, or for expressing emotions freely. Maybe it's apologizing for your style, your beliefs, or even your laughter. From a young age, society teaches us to fit in, to be polite, to be agreeable, and slowly, unknowingly, we start shrinking ourselves. We start editing our lives to fit other people's comfort zones. But here's the truth. The world doesn't need another version of someone else. The world needs you unapologetically, fully as yourself. Think about a teenager in school who loves painting while everyone else is obsessed with sports. Every day, they face teasing, questions, and judgment. Why aren't you playing cricket? Why do you waste time on art? The instinct is often to apologize, to hide, to try to fit in. But imagine if that teenager embraced their passion boldly, without shame. Over time, they may discover a talent that inspires others, a path that brings them joy, and a sense of confidence that can never be taken away. The courage to be yourself is not only liberating, it is transformative. Being unapologetically yourself is not about arrogance or rebellion. It is about authenticity. It is about standing in your own truth, knowing your values, your passions, and your purpose, and living in alignment with them. Consider someone who decides to pursue a career that seems unconventional. Perhaps a musician, a social worker, or an entrepreneur in a field everyone considers risky. At first, they will face confusion, doubt, and criticism. Friends might question their choices, family might worry, and society might frown. Yet, when they continue walking their path unapologetically, they not only create a life they love, but often inspire others to do the same. Your courage to be yourself becomes a beacon, a reminder that life is meant to be lived, not performed. Even in everyday situations, being unapologetically yourself matters. Imagine you are in a meeting and you have an idea that others dismiss immediately. You could shrink back, apologizing for daring to speak, or you could speak again with clarity, confidence, and conviction. The difference is simple. Those who apologize for being themselves dim their light. Those who embrace their voice illuminate a room. Every time you refuse to shrink, to censor yourself, or to bend to the expectations of others, you take one more step toward freedom. Being unapologetically yourself also means embracing your emotions. So often, we apologize for feeling sadness, anger, or excitement. We are told to toughen up, stop overreacting, or be reasonable. But emotions are not weaknesses. They are signals, guides, and reflections of our inner world. Allow yourself to cry, to laugh, to express love openly, and to forgive freely. Do not apologize for the colors of your heart. Life becomes richer when we allow ourselves to feel fully, without guilt or shame. Relationships too flourish when we embrace authenticity. Imagine a friendship where one person constantly hides their true thoughts to avoid conflict. The friendship may survive, but it will never thrive. Now imagine a friendship where both people speak openly, respectfully, and authentically. But there may be disagreements. But there is also trust, respect, and deep connection. The courage to be yourself unapologetically attracts people who resonate with your soul and repels those who cannot handle your truth. This is not rejection, it is clarity. Life becomes lighter when you stop carrying the burden of constant approval seeking. Look at some of the most inspirational figures in history. Maya Angelou, Martin Luther King Jr., Malala Yousafzai. They did not apologize for their convictions, their voices, or their dreams. They faced criticism, doubt, and even hatred, but they remained true to themselves. The result? They left legacies that continue to inspire millions. The world needs your unique voice, your perspective, and your gifts, even if some people will never understand or appreciate them. Being unapologetically yourself is your gift to the world. Sometimes, being unapologetically yourself also means making difficult choices that others may not agree with. Perhaps it means leaving a job that pays well but drains your spirit, or ending a relationship that no longer aligns with your values. Perhaps it means standing up for what is right, even when it is unpopular. These decisions require courage, because they often invite criticism and doubt. But every time you act in alignment with your truth, you grow stronger, wiser, and more confident. And over time, you realize that the discomfort of others' disapproval is nothing compared to the joy of living authentically. Even in the smallest moments, authenticity matters. Speak your truth, dress as you like, choose the things that resonate with your heart, and don't apologize for it. Celebrate your quirks, your habits, and the little things that make you you. Life is too short to live in a constant state of apology. Every time you choose authenticity over approval, honesty over pretense, and courage over fear, you create a ripple effect. Your example encourages others to shed their masks, to stop apologizing for their passions, and to live boldly and freely. Ultimately, being unapologetically yourself is a form of self-respect. It says, I am enough as I am. I do not need to shrink, hide, or change to make others comfortable. And when you live with this conviction, the world begins to respond in ways you never imagined. Opportunities align, meaningful connections flourish, and joy flows naturally. The freedom of being yourself is one of life's greatest treasures, and it costs nothing to claim it. So today, make a promise to yourself, I will not apologize for being me. I will honor my passions, express my truth, and live fully no matter what others think. Let the critics talk, let the naysayers frown, and let the doubters doubt. Your life is yours to live authentically, unapologetically, and boldly. The world will either catch up or it will fade into irrelevance. But your light, your uniqueness, and your courage will shine forever. Have you ever noticed that the people who criticize, mock, or even hate you often have one thing in common? They are simply uncomfortable with your growth. Their disapproval is not always about you. It is about their fear of change, their insecurity, or their inability to face their own limitations. And here's the truth. The moment you understand this, hate stops being a burden and starts being fuel. It becomes a reminder that you are moving forward, stepping out of comfort zones, and growing into the best version of yourself. Imagine a young professional who decides to start a business in a field that everyone around them considers risky. Friends shake their heads, family members worry, colleagues roll their eyes. Some even openly say, "You'll fail, you're crazy to try this." At first it can hurt and doubt may creep in. But the key is this: their hate is not a reflection of your worth, it is a reflection of your courage. While they criticize from the sidelines, you are taking steps they do not have the bravery to take. Every piece of doubt thrown your way becomes an opportunity to strengthen your resolve, to work harder, and to grow further. Even in small, everyday moments, this principle plays out. Consider a student who decides to speak out in class, sharing an idea that challenges conventional thinking. Some classmates might mock, others might roll their eyes, and a few might even whisper behind their back. But in those moments, the student has two choices: shrink and remain silent, or stand firm and continue expressing their thoughts. The courage to continue, even in the face of hate or disapproval, becomes the very thing that accelerates growth. Every time you choose to keep moving forward, despite the negativity, you grow stronger, wiser, and more resilient. Hate, in many ways, is a mirror of success and uniqueness. Think about some of the greatest visionaries in history. Mahatma Gandhi faced relentless hatred and opposition, yet he persisted in nonviolence and truth. Elon Musk has faced countless critics who doubted every venture from electric cars to space travel. Oprah Winfrey was criticized, mocked, and even told she wouldn't succeed in television. And yet, all of them kept going, allowing criticism, doubt, and even hatred to sharpen their focus and fuel their determination. Their growth was not hindered by hate, it was propelled by it. In relationships, too, the idea of keeping your growth alive in the face of negativity is crucial. Imagine you are trying to improve yourself, learning patience, practicing mindfulness, or pursuing a healthier lifestyle, and someone close to you mocks these efforts. Their words may sting. Why are you so obsessed with meditation? Or, you've changed too much. At first, it can be disheartening. But if you let their negativity dictate your actions, you stop growing. If you continue to embrace your growth regardless of their judgment, you not only improve your life, but you also set an example. Growth inspires others, even if they initially resist or hate what they cannot understand. Sometimes, the people who hate you are actually the ones most threatened by your potential. Imagine a colleague who feels stagnant in their role. When you take initiative, pursue excellence, or innovate, their jealousy or insecurity may manifest as hate. In these moments, their negativity becomes a signal you are on the right track. Their discomfort is a reflection of the distance you are putting between your growth and their limitations. Instead of letting it drag you down, use it as motivation to grow even faster, to work even harder, and to continue stepping boldly in your own path. Even in the digital age, where opinions are instant and often harsh, this lesson holds true. Social media exposes us to constant judgment. Someone may dislike your post, criticize your lifestyle, or make negative comments about your choices. At first, it feels personal and it can hurt deeply. But remember, their hate is a reflection of their perspective, not a verdict on your worth. The moment you stop internalizing every negative opinion and continue moving toward your purpose, you grow impervious to judgment. Every hateful comment becomes a tiny spark, fueling your inner fire rather than extinguishing it. Growth, however, is not just about ignoring hate. It's about learning from it wisely. Some criticism and opposition may hold valuable lessons. Perhaps a piece of feedback highlights an area where you can improve, or maybe a challenge exposes a weakness you need to strengthen. By discerning between malicious hate and constructive signals, you turn every obstacle into an opportunity. In life, the people who hate you cannot stop your growth unless you allow them to. The choice is always yours: let hate consume you, or let it empower you. Finally, the beauty of growth in the face of hate is that it transforms your life into something larger than yourself. When you keep growing, pursuing your passions, and walking your path with integrity, you inspire others to do the same. Your courage becomes contagious. The people who initially doubted, criticized, or hated you may eventually admire your perseverance, even if silently. But even if they never do, your growth is your reward. Your life expands, your capabilities increase, and your impact multiplies. Hate becomes nothing more than a stepping stone, a reminder that you are alive, moving forward, and creating something meaningful. So the next time someone criticizes, mocks, or even hates you, smile. Let their words wash over you. Know that their judgment is not your definition. Keep growing. Keep learning. Keep walking your path with courage, determination, and love for yourself. Let their hate be your fuel, your teacher, and your mirror, but never let it be your jailer. In every challenge, in every negative word, lies an invitation to grow stronger, wiser, and more unstoppable than ever before.